Hi, I'm Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation, and today's topic is why are you still unhappy after your divorce? But I'm going to not focus so much on the reasons as what you can do about it. Look, there's numerous reasons, obviously. The separation from the person who you committed to be with for the rest of your life is so traumatic in and of itself. And then there are all the other things that go along with it. But what can you do about this? So, in my study of marriage, to really help people with marriage, I had to get down to more roots, you might say, that would help people return to a positive life within their marriage. But those things that I learned, those realities, those methods, the techniques, also help people who have just gone through the trauma of a divorce. Even if it's been a while and you're wondering when is this going to subside. So here's what happens. You are essentially a composite, you might say, of your habits and your instincts. Now, the truth is that you are a soul. But when you are so identified with the external world as we are, then what happens is our identification as that part of us that is bouncing off the world, you might say, interacting with the world, that's who we sort of become. So there's a whole discussion right there that is very deep, because you're a soul, which means that essentially you are joy and you are happiness. But you're trapped is what's really going on. You're behind this curtain of a delusional reality. Delusional reality. Yes, the reality is you live in the world, but the delusion is that that's not who we are. It's not who we truly are. So I talk about this with you a little bit so you can understand that there are different levels of how to approach what you're going through now. One level is what most people recommend. It's sort of the lowest level. It's the level of distractions. Put your mind on other things. Take up bowling, knitting, bird watching, whatever, and become highly involved in a new hobby. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. Even though it's a low level, it's valuable, and it's something that does work to some degree. Avoid, still on that level, avoid watching TV all the time or the internet. Don't immerse yourself further into other people's dramas. You have some work to do on yourself, which brings us to the second level. That level is to change that person who got a divorce. Now, you may have had no choice but to get a divorce by the time you got one, but there were a lot of things you could have done differently along the way. The reason why you behaved the way you behaved is because, again, you become sort of a puppet of your habits and your instinctive reactions. And so there are many good courses out there, self-help courses to change yourself. Even people have read Breaking the Cycle or Lessons for a Happy Marriage, have used it as a self-help book. In fact, if you go to the reviews on Amazon, you'll see, or Barnes & Noble, you'll see some people use it exclusively for that. So, and it's an inexpensive way to do the self-help. But there's good courses out there too. I don't have to name names. Everyone is good out there. The point is, once you begin to work on your own character, which means changing your habits, it means identifying your instinctive reactions and modifying them, your world will change. And you're not going to be stuck in this place of confusion and sorrow. Then the highest level of getting out of this state that you find yourself in, the highest level is through meditation or prayer or some sort of methodology that allows you to identify with yourself as a soul. Be a soul. Okay, here's a little idea. If you force your mind to think like a saint, to speak like a saint, to act like a saint, and to feel love like a saint, you're going to feel the joy that a saint feels. You have that control over yourself. You know, the idea of free will is so misunderstood. So this is where free will should really be brought into your life, where you're choosing to become who you wish to become, and thus shed this nightmare that you may be going through right now from having changed your outer world. If this makes sense to you, then I'm very pleased that I was able to help you somewhat. And if you think this would help others, please share this with others and like it. That's always good for us. And I offer you my prayers and my blessings for what you're going through. And the last thing to remember is that we live in a world of change, constant change. There's going up, there's going down. There is no such thing as stagnation. Take charge. Take charge of your own evolution. Be sure to become the person who rises above the state that you're currently in. Okay. Blessings.